Here we can see tropical fish, and there's even turtles. There's whales. We've actually seen the whales breathing in the winter from the property here.
Hi, everybody. This is Shohei, aka Let's Go Okinawa. So today I'm joined by this cool guest, and I would like to hear some stories. First, please, could you introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So my name's Eric. I'm from California, and happy to be a guest. Thank you.
What brought you to Okinawa?
So originally, I had a business up in Tokyo, and I came down to Okinawa thinking that I would just be here during COVID and maybe staying for a little while. Over the last maybe 8 or so years, I'd come down to Okinawa enough times to know that I liked it, but I didn't know that I would be able to move or to continue my business. So I first came down in the middle of 2020. And then came and looked again in the end of 2020. And then I officially moved here at the beginning of 2021.
What's your business about?
Yeah, so we do executive headhunting. And basically what we do is we find the presidents of Japan and a lot of Asia leaders for some of the bigger gaishike, sport, outdoor, ethical brands. So for example, in Japan, we've recently found the presidents at Burton Snowboards, Vans, Timberland, Trek Bicycles, these kinds of brands. In Asia, we found heads of Apple, of Adidas. We just found the Asia head of Anytime Fitness. And yeah, that's basically what we do, the headhunting for those companies.
Right. So you're basically working online or?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's all online. We actually visit some of the headquarters. The last trip to California, extensive trip to California, we visited the headquarters of Vans. We went to Ryukyu, to TaylorMade Golf. We definitely go to visit a lot of the clients face-to-face in places like Tokyo. I'll go in 2 weeks. I'll go to Osaka to visit Trek Bicycles, Cannondale Bicycles. But yeah, I think a lot of the interviews are online.
So you're flying all over the world to see some people?
Yeah, I would say most of our candidates are in Japan. And it used to be that I would go to a lot of hotels that are near an executive. You know, if an executive was working at Nike, I might meet them for a coffee at the Ritz-Carlton because it's right next to their office. And then I might have a button-up shirt and they think I'm professional and, I jump on a bicycle and go home. But now, especially with the post-COVID situation, I just meet them, and also especially with me here in Okinawa, I very often just meet them online and then take it from there.
And I heard that you are a vegan, right?
Yeah.
And how long have you been vegan?
So I've been vegan for a little over 5 years. And before that, I was a weird mix of, I would say it was like a vegan plus seafood. So I didn't eat a lot of dairy products or egg or anything like that, but I did eat fish. So I think I've not eaten meat for, I guess in total about 20 years. And then strict vegan is maybe a little over 5 years.
Is it easy to be vegan in Okinawa?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. The question of being vegan really comes down to your own views, and like other things, if you let's just say you decide that you're going to do meditation every morning, then is it hard to do meditation? No, because you've already decided. If you think, I might want to do meditation and you haven't started, well then to make even 5 minutes might be hard. In terms of like becoming vegan, I think once you've decided, then it's easy because you've already decided. So in Okinawa, it's very easy, especially in this area. We can bicycle to probably 10 restaurants that have vegan choices, and a few of them are vegan only. So for example, there's Gajimaru and Blue Point. It's farther to go to Shizen, which I really love that place. And they're all 100% vegan, but just within a 5-minute walk. You can walk to Love Organics, Birth Cafe. You know, there's Italian restaurants, there's Vietnamese restaurants, there's Thai restaurants, and they all have choices. So it's really about like, first, do you want to look for that? And then once you look for it, then it's easy to find.
You've been living in Okinawa since 2021. Was it? Did you say it was May?
So it'll be about 3.5 years soon. Yeah. This is my favorite place in Japan. And having lived here now, it's even more so. So as you asked about, you know, in the business case, I don't want to say it didn't impact our business. It actually increased our business. We've had better results since moving here, and part of that is because, as you mentioned, we do not just our business is very often online, but we focus on very digital skilled people, and those digital people became in higher demand during COVID. Then the second aspect is that we work with OIST. So working with OIST just made the business more fun, and we're a partner with OIST, and so that's also been great. So I would say, yeah, the move to Okinawa has been life-changing in a really positive way. We do our business with global partners, but local partners as well. And then from a lifestyle standpoint, I'd say this is the best place for me. The people are nice, weather is great, there's a lot of nature, you know. Here we can see tropical fish, and there's even turtles. This area has a coral reef. There's whales. We've actually seen the whales breathing in the winter from the property here. So we can get groups of students out to beach clean, and yeah, it's just a great place to live.
You lived in Tokyo for how long?
I lived in Tokyo for about 15 years total, including I was a student at Waseda University. So if you include all the times that I've been in Tokyo, I would say maybe 15 years.
Did anything change, like in your lifestyle?
So I lived in Ebisu, and Ebisu is kind of well known for having a lot of vegan restaurants. So for food, you know, that was never a big change. You know, it's been great here. It was great there. I think the biggest changes, besides having an amazing partner in Moe, and a community here, I was always a guy that liked to leave night parties early and go home and go to sleep. And this place is very easy to just eat dinner, kind of almost very funny time early, like eating sometimes 5:30 or 6. Whereas in Tokyo, you know, sometimes I have friends there. The other night I had a friend called me at 9:45. And 9:45 p.m. in Tokyo is not too late to make a phone call. But in Okinawa, we're in bed at 9:45. So waking up with the sunrise is different. Having a real true community, like we're around a lot of children under 6 years old and a lot of grandparents, or I should say people over 60. And there's no weirdness about having a lot of friends that are 70 years old here in Okinawa. That's great. We have a friend who helps us with our farming who's older. So I think in Tokyo, it's an amazing place to, if people like fine dining and shopping and entertainment, and especially drinking and things like that. But I don't really drink that much. And so for me, it's more interesting to be around local people. Yeah, I really like those local people. I think they're very charming. Like, you know, sometimes you see a grandma in the grocery store that's like super small and very, very charming. And to me, that's more interesting than seeing, you know, I don't know, Harajuku fashion.
So you're also engaged in some local activities?
Yeah. So we have jointly we have a charity, U2 for Ryukyu. We do a lot of beach cleaning and events, but Moe is really the leader of that, and I'm more of a supporter and a fan of all the things she's doing, whether it's interviews on the newspaper or speaking at schools. She's really taken leadership on that, and I'm just happy to be part of it. There was a sustainability summit at OIST, and our charity led a really big beach clean, and those people were coming from all over the world. Those kinds of events that we have, we invite athletes from all over, and these are high-level athletes, like champions of the sports that they do, whether they're runners or Spartan racers or mixed martial artists, and some of them are elite business people, you know, whether they're the presidents of some of the biggest gaishike sports companies. And sometimes we'll invite these people and we'll have events and we'll do food events and lectures, do like a home theater. So this has been a really amazing opportunity to live here, and I feel very lucky to be in Okinawa.
You also mentioned that you're doing some farming kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, we're not very good farmers, but we're very happy farmers. So it becomes a kind of a routine. So we have our routine of like before we check our phones, we want to wake up, and if there's shikwasa season, we'll have shikwasa with warm water. And then we go and have the direct sun early in the morning and just check we check on all our plants, whether that's watermelons or tomatoes, or we really love beni imo. We always check how the plants are and watering them and pulling out the weeds, and it becomes a kind of daily kind of ritual that we do. And then after farming, we always do our meditation. And so it's just a great way to wake up, I did the same thing in Tokyo, and I had a backyard, but I had a really small garden that was just a bunch of plants. I didn't have anything that I could put in the ground like a banana tree and these other really big plants that we have like kuanoki and these kinds of things. Just a garbage banana. This is just like when we get onions, we just put them in there and then they just keep growing. Rosemary, and now it's everywhere. We just keep cutting and growing them. Like these tomatoes. Some of the seeds are on my hand, There's a couple seeds here. Let's see what happens. Basil, and then we just cut them and they keep getting bigger and bigger. And I also, the meditation that I did in Tokyo was by my, just my cat would sit on the yoga mat with me. But now we do it daily, and if we have guests, we often have guests. And very often the guests will join us, not just for going in the ocean, but also like, checking out our daily routine, and they think, wow, this is definitely different than what I do in wherever they're from.
How do you think people can actually, introduce lifestyle like yours?
There's a lot of attention on Okinawa's history. So not just at OIST, where people have studied longevity, or Ryudai, where there's Arakawa sensei who worked on translating the Blue Zone book, but there's a documentary that just came out. It's called Live to 100, and the first episode is all about Okinawa, and one of the things it talks about was just how Okinawans lived and ate, and this ikigai philosophy. I made a social media post. I don't make a lot of social media posts, but I had posted about ikigai years ago, and I didn't know that it was the Okinawa thing. So I think there's a lot of fundamentals already in Okinawa of people looking at their work and life as intertwined and not just trying to rush to retirement. I saw a lot of people, and by the way, I'm not saying Tokyo's terrible, but I saw a lot of people in Tokyo that were, if they were over 60, they were kind of forced to retire. And then they're just going to the gym and not really using their brain or their life so well. Whereas here, I think there's a lot of people that understand this balance. And definitely, I can see the health has really gone downhill since the war. But if Okinawans just studied what they ate prior to the war, I think that would be a huge step in the right direction. And then, of course, if they also studied about this environment and what is and isn't hurting it. If they understood what causes global warming and what are the things that you can actually do, what causes pollution to the ocean, and what industries can you support less. A lot of people underestimate the impact that we have as individuals. We think, oh, well, if I do this, that's just me. We forget that, but you have all these people around you that they act differently based on sometimes on how you act, and there's this ripple effect where you might influence 20 people, or in Moe's case maybe 250, but those students might go and talk to their parents, and so on and so on. So you collectively, all together, we have a real big impact that we can make on the world.
Is there any kind of message you want to deliver to the world, especially for those who want to introduce the lifestyle like yours, a plant-based diet or exposure to some natural activities and so on?
Yeah, I guess the message I would say is don't be afraid to talk to people. You know, sometimes people make up an image and an idea of what that is. And they've never actually had a conversation with anyone. Why are people beach cleaning, or what can I do to make the world a better place? Or in this case, you know, why are vegans vegan? They might not really understand it. And they might see something on social media or something like that. But I would just say you keep your mind open, educate yourself as much as possible. Ask us, we're always open, you know, to questions. I've had a lot of people that ate plant-based were kind of aggressive or wanted me to just things that I thought, okay, well, I haven't really experienced that or done that to anyone. But I would say, yeah, just, you know, my message would be to keep an open mind, keep asking questions, keep studying, you know, and how you can make the world better. I don't think that vegan is the answer to everything, but I do think that this idea that we can impact the world, this is one of the ways that we can do it. And it's a way that it shows that as individuals, you know, when you choose to buy something, you are supporting an industry, whatever that industry is. So if you're buying a product, when it's made, they're cutting down the rainforests and you're supporting that. You're paying for that to happen. So that understanding is something that a lot of people don't make that connection. They think, well, no, that's already on the shelf. I'm just giving my money to the shop. I didn't pay for that to happen. But there's a supply and a demand, and when you pay for it and it's now gone, now they need to cut the rainforest down again in order to make that palm oil or whatever that is. So just making those connections and people understanding that they have an impact on the world, positive or negative, and as individuals, you know, we can collectively really do amazing things.
How do you want Okinawa to be in the future?
I would like to see Okinawa to really embrace more of its past. The environment has been impacted heavily, whether that's coastal development or overfishing or pollution. I would like to see more young Okinawans passionate about preserving the ocean here. It's a very special place in the world. So I would like to see, you know, Okinawans really treasuring this land and what they have here, because it's not everywhere in the world that looks like this. And also, on another note, is I really do like that Okinawans are remarkably open-minded and very global. There's a very high level of English here. There's a high level of people that are very open-minded to change, whether that's in business or things like that. And I think some people, myself included, criticize the historical heavy influence from the military, my country's military. But I think Okinawans have responded by becoming very bilingual. I speak Japanese and we speak both languages to each other, but the fact that you can do this interview in English is amazing. And there's a lot of Okinawans that are very global, and I hope they continue. More of them attend universities like OIST and make an impact on this island.
Is there anything you want to promote?
Yeah, I would like to say, hey, if people haven't seen U2 for Ryukyu, the group that Moe leads, please join us. We have a lot of very active members, so it's not just the fact that we've went from this didn't exist to we have a lot of activities, but it's the fact that the people that are following what we do, they're very active. Sometimes you have groups where there's thousands of members, but very few people are active. In our case, so many of the members are very, very active, and I think it's a great way to meet like-minded people. Please look on Instagram. Moe has done an amazing job with that group, and the more people that can see it and check out what we're doing, we're happy for that. None of our events do we accept any donations. We fund this through our own company, and that's to avoid sometimes groups do something good, but then they also get their beer money from their donations. We don't want to do that. We didn't want any mixing of this is how I live off of donations for the beach cleaning we do. So we just purely put our money into it and nobody gives any donations. And I think we've done a lot. So yeah, I hope more people follow and we appreciate you.
I'll put the link in the description, so please check it out. Thank you so much for having me here and then do some interview with you. Thank you. Like and subscribe.